It's time. I haven't told you guys this yet, but since I am a Falcons fan and a Georgia Bulldog fan, it only feels right if I do game reviews for both of those teams. But to make it a little bit more interesting, at least I don't know exactly how I'm going to do the NFL yet, but for college football, I'm going to do the Georgia game, a review of the Georgia game, and any other game I see interesting. So you may see an LSU and Florida State review as well. But today we're just doing Georgia and UT Martin, and then an extra team, only one. And you might see more than one team in a video, especially if it's bowl game season. So just see for that. And same things we have for NFL, wouldn't be checking out an extra couple games. But it might be a little bit different since, NFL is different than college football. And, yeah, let's just get into it. Georgia defeated UT Martin literally yesterday, 48-7. It's kind of expected that Georgia was going to win this one by at least 40 points. That's actually what I said before the game. I said we should beat UT Martin by at least 40 points. We beat by 41. So we technically surpassed my expectations by 1 point. Let's look at the box score. Kincaid Dent was 18 of 32, 128, 1 touchdown. Cody Sparks' only pass was a pick. So yeah, it's just that simple. Dent also had 6 carries for 47 yards. Sam Franklin 12 for 46. Jordan Castleberry, 8 for 31, and Narco LaFleur, 3 for 10, which totals out to 134 rushing yards. Receiving wise, Azawanda, I don't know, has 4 receptions for 42 yards. Castleberry, 3 for 25. Franklin, 2 for 18. And Javante Rucker, 3 for 17 and a touchdown. Also, guys, I just want to mention, I'm more of a NFL person. I've been watching NFL longer and more than I've watched college football. But I feel like this is a great opportunity for me to really get more familiar with it. So if I say something wrong, especially about like things like recruiting, because that's like my weakest thing for college football, hopefully we won't have to go through it too much here in these games. But just tell me if there's anything wrong and I'll correct it. But it's still football, and I still love football. And my favorite team in college football has won the championship 2 times in a row. If you think I'm just a bandwagon, you can tell I'm not, because I'm also a Braves and a Falcons fan, which are both also in Georgia. Like, it's that simple. I just like the state, and I was born in the state. So when the teams in the state do well, and you just end up liking them, Braves and Bulldogs, you can't just assume that I'm a bandwagon. But I'm saying this because I already have much else to say for UT Martin's stats. They had, I guess, a couple pass deflections and tackles for loss, but not anything really going for them there. But let's just go to Georgia. Carson Beck was great. 21 of 31, 294, and 1 touchdown. Had a little bit of a slow start, but that's pretty much... I feel like Georgia likes you more if you have a slow start at this point, because that's just what our entire team does. It's for defense. They're just kind of built different. Brock Vandergeer was 2 of 3, 77, and a touchdown. And Gunnar Stockton was also pretty good, 3 of 5 for 29. It makes us look like our quarterbacks are pretty set. Pretty good. So if Beck gets injured or just doesn't show up one day, we could definitely replace him, especially on the easy game. I wouldn't be worried about losing Beck. But for rushing, we did better than UT Martin on this as well, of course. Kendall Milton, 9 for 53. Roderick Robertson, 8 for 50. And a TD. And Carson Beck, rushing touchdown. And Brock Bowers, also with a touchdown on the ground. Receiving, Brock Bowers had 5 for 77. Mekhi Muse, 3 for 75 in the touchdown. CJ Smith, 2 for 57. Ra Thomas, 1 for 56. Dylan Bell, 3 for 32. Lovett, 3 for 25. Cash Jones, 4 for 25. And the last big one, Oscar Delp, 2 for 24 and a TD, which is just 2 receiving touchdowns for us. Brock Bowers fumble, but we did recover it. It was Arian Smith. That was the only time he touched the ball. A couple tokens for loss for Tyke Smith. I think that's Dalen Everett, Michael Williams, Gabe Davis, which has up to 4. 2 pass breakups, one from Malachi Starks, the sophomore, and Zion Lowe, who I actually don't know. But I think as we go along, I'll know more and more of these players. I mean, I already know a good amount of them. Of course, Michael Williams, Brock Bowers. Let's see someone on this Smell Munden. He didn't really do much today, but I do know him. And we also have pick 6 by Kyron Jones. It was way too easy. I mean, receiver just kind of dropped it. Makai Muse was a decent kick returner and punt returner. They were talking pretty good about paying Woodring, so no surprise he made all of his field goals and extra point attempts. All I really have to say about this game is that it's good that we beat them by a good amount. We did a lot of touchdowns, but it's just going to happen sometimes. Not every bad team you go against is going to just not be able to put up any offense at all. And it was near the end of the game. We did not care about that, clearly. But I just want to see more of I want to see more of Carson Beck. I want to see more of this defensive line because, honestly, we only had 1 sack, I think. So I think that's something we should look at as room for improvement as well. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much all we can say about UT Martin thus far. Hit 6-minute mark, so we have some time. So let's go to the next game I was going to talk about. Colorado TCU. Now, I'm more of an SEC guy. I've been watching... if I were to watch a game, it was Alabama, Auburn, stuff like that. I think the teams I've watched the most are Georgia and Alabama. So, yeah, I didn't usually know when if these two teams played 3-4 years ago, I don't think anyone would really care that much who won. But now it's a pretty big deal, not only because TCU was in the national championship last year, but because Colorado has been getting a lot of steam thanks to Dion making waves over there. And I mean, he's been controlling the college football internet for a while now. So, yeah, the media's kind of around his finger, and so was this game. They win 45-42. Yeah, neither defense was amazing today. Hence why both teams were able to put up 40. But let's just go over stats so we can go from there. Shadur Sanders put up 38 completions of our 47 pass attempts, 510 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Syvion Wilkerson, 13 of 45, 1 touchdown. Dylan Edwards, 6 for 24 on a TD as well. Anthony Hankerson, 9 for 21. Receiving, Dylan Edwards also got the ball from the sky. 5 for 135 and 3 TDs. Travis Hunter, 11 for 119. Xavier Weaver, 6 for 1. Oh my God, 4 receivers with over 100 yards, but 6 for 118. Finally, Jimmy Horn, 11 for 117 and a touchdown. Dylan Edwards fumbled and lost the ball when he did so. Defensively, no sacks for Colorado. That's not great. Or tackles for loss. They did have 3 pass defense by Trevor Woods, Omarion Cooper, and Travis Hunter. Interceptions for Travis Hunter and Trevor Woods. And they also missed a field goal. Yeah, that's interesting on the offensive and defensive side in more ways than one. Let's go to TCU. Chandler Morris, 24 of 42, 279, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Amani Bailey, 14 for 164. That's pretty good. Trey Sanders, 15 for 46, which isn't amazing, but he did get 3 touchdowns. Chandler Morris, 5 for 30 and a touchdown as well. Receiving, Jarrett Wiley, 6 for 69, touchdown. J.P. Richardson, 6 for 63. Dylan Wright, 2 for 44. Zach Beck, 2 for 25. Also, Dylan Wright scored a touchdown. You can see here, actually, the TCU did not hit many deep shots on the receivers. The longs, only 2 of the receivers even had a log of 20 yards. 23 and 21 respectively. Not really respectively, I can't say their names. But, Monty Bailey, on the other hand, has 74-yard run, which accounted for actually almost half of his total yards. Monty Bailey fumbled, but they didn't lose it, and they did also recover a fumble by Millard Bradford. They actually had sacks though. Johnny Hodges, Jamoy Hodge, Caleb Fox, and Paul Oyewale or Oyewale all had sacks on the defensive side. A ton of tackles for loss as well. Johnny Hodges, Jamoy Hodge, Abe Kamara, Caleb Fox, Paul Oyewale. I'm assuming that's what it just sounds like that's how the name would be pronounced. I don't know. And Rick Diabru all accounted for the total of 7 tackles for loss. Pass defense by Avery Helm, Miller Bradford. No touchdowns on defensive side for TCU. And that's pretty much it. That wraps up their stats. Now, what I have to say is that Shedeur Sanders looks legit along with a bunch of other players offensively for Colorado. I mean, look at these receivers, dude. I can't really tell, though, if they're really just all 4 of them are really good, or Shedeur just makes them all look really good and only like 1 or 2 of them are really that good. But it doesn't matter. Shedeur Sanders is going to be dangerous, and putting up 45 points on in prior national champions, no matter how bad their defense is this year, is impressive. We know that. Well, they're both Power 5 teams, right? I think. TCU's in the Power 5. So, when you see a quarterback put up numbers like this, only haters don't look over here. If last year Bryce Young put up these numbers, they would have been like, well, let's do a quarterback that's less popular for being good. Who was like South Carolina's quarterback? I guess Spencer Rattler. If he put up these numbers against, I don't know, another like a top 15 team, which I think it's weird that TCU fell already down to 17, but now he lost to Colorado. I guess you can understand that. If he put up these numbers, the league would have been on watch for him. But now that it's Deontay's son, people are trying to bypass it. It's just a fluke, or TCU just sucks. Now, I that Shedeur definitely proved himself here. And I don't care if it was against TCU or if it was against Missouri. Like, putting up 500 passing yards is a big deal. But also, don't get your hopes too high up. Because I've already seen people say that he's Tom Brady. Like, okay. But, like, he's definitely special. Just, we'll have to see. I say 3 weeks before you judge any quarterback at least. Because that probably gives you a chance to see a home game. Or 2 home games and an away game. Also, in 3 games, you're going to have a hard game. Which they already had theirs. I don't think Colorado's schedule for the next couple weeks is too bad. Like, I think Colorado has a chance to kind of chill out after that big win. Colorado schedule. See, look, after they have Colorado State, and Nebraska, and then they go against Oregon. So, yeah, this will be an interesting next 3 weeks for them. We'll see how good they are. I say you can have your current judgment, but be ready to change it, as Nebraska, Colorado State, and Oregon will be an interesting 3 games. Not because they're all hard, but because these are kind of like 3. You can see the clear 3 different levels of these 3 teams, and it will just show you how great Shedeur Sanders really is based on how he performs against these 3 different teams. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna end this video today. Tell me who you think was the best player in both of these games. Who blew it for most of the TCU game because, well, DC Martin's entire team was just bad. But maybe I'll talk about LSU versus FSU. See y'all later.